Welcome back. Today we're going to be making linguine with white clam sauce. And this is a really, really great dish if you want something fast and easy. I'm melting a half a stick of butter in a large saucepan. I'm only going to make about 8 ounces of spaghetti of a half a pound, if you will. Simply because there's only 2 of us and we can't even finish that. So we're just going to let this melt up real nice. While that's melting, I have a pot of salted water that's going to come to a boil shortly, I hope, maybe, we'll see. But this doesn't take very long to make it all. So if you're really pressed for time, this is the greatest weeknight meal ever. And if you have friends over or family over and they enjoy a good linguine with white clam sauce, this is going to be your go-to recipe. You will never order this out again. Now, the butter that I'm using is a very high quality butter, and I'm going to add salt to it because I use predominantly unsalted butter. So many of my pastry recipes call for that. I figure I just add salt. I mean, that's all you have to do is add some salt. And to this, I'm going to add kosher salt. And the reason I'm adding kosher salt is because it's not as salty as a table salt is, but it will give you a nice flavor. Same thing with meats. If you're gonna char it in meats, definitely use kosher salt because that'll give you a nice char crust on there. Okay, so now that that's in there, we're going to add, I like my garlic. So we're going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of garlic in here. Now I'm using garlic that's already been minced up in a jar. It's fine. You want this to be quick. You're coming home, you're tired. You don't want to deal with really cooking dinner. And this is a fabulous recipe for that. Now remember, all of my recipes are in the first comment down below, so you don't have to watch me if you don't want to. And that looks good. And we're just gonna let that marinate in there. It's on medium heat. I cook mostly everything on a medium heat because my pans tend to cook very hot, which is great. I mean, I love that. I love my pans. And they have treated me well, and I treat them well. Okay. So we're going to let that cook up for a little bit. And once that is done, just getting all kinds of really yummy in there, and the garlic is very aromatic. You can smell it. I wish you could smell it. It's really good. But it smells absolutely wonderful. And we're going to keep that gas on a high. You can do this on electric as well. On electric, it's probably about a 6, which would be a medium heat. And you can see that that's already getting real nice and put together. And this is almost going to come to a boil also. Now you can make this gluten-free. I'm not making this gluten-free, but I'll put that in a variation in the recipe when I post it. So you can see that you can make this gluten-free. You do not have to use flour. I'm going to use flour, but if I were going to use cornstarch, I would mix that with a little bit of clam broth toward the end and just thicken that up. This is looking really great. So adjust that pan a little bit. You hear Max in the background? In my introductory video, he was quite funny. You should watch it if you haven't, because he was staring at me like, "What are you doing?" He had no clue. So we can see that is getting all nice, and I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. But it's almost getting like a little bit thick, but really you just want to sweat the garlic. You just want to get that nice aromatic smell, and I have that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, depending on how thick you want this, okay, you can make this as thin or as thick as you want. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little bit less, of flour. Right in there, easy, 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 easy. And I am also using fresh pasta. It is not gluten-free. You can make a gluten-free pasta and use that with this. But I'm making a fresh pasta, so it's really quick. And I think we need a little bit more. There we go. Now you'll see what happens to this when I start adding the liquid into it. And I'm using 4 cans of chopped clams, not minced, chopped clams. And I have 4 cans of the juice in a bowl as well. Don't think I'm gonna need all of it. We'll just have to wait and see. When it gets to the consistency I like, I usually cover the back of the spoon. That's when I say, okay, that's enough. And that's fine. This is good. So that was about 2.5 tablespoons of flour. Now we can start adding the liquid. And just a little bit at a time. You just want to incorporate that. Get it all kinds of nice and thick. You can see how it's thickening up already. Put some more, I just made a mess on my stove. That means I have to clean it. That's the only part I don't like, is cleaning up after dinner. Don't mind cooking it. I actually love cooking it. Not so much the cleanup. Oh, you hear Max? We've got a thunderstorm going on right now. So he is not a happy camper. But nothing I can do about Mother Nature. So he's just barking like crazy in the background there. But again, remember, he's my official taste tester, so hopefully the storm will pass and he'll be able to taste this for us. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna add a little bit more. See how that does. And you just want to stir it so it doesn't burn to the bottom of the pan. You know, if you're using if you're not using a non-stick, it does have a tendency to stick to the bottom, but these pans are absolutely phenomenal, and they are non-stick, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. You just need a really big fry pan, because you're going to add the linguine to it after you finish the base. Okay, so now let's let that cook up for a little bit. I'm going to stick this over here because I'm probably going to need to use a little bit more of that. And then we're going to add about 1.5 tablespoons. And again, this is all to taste of thyme. I absolutely love thyme, and I'm probably going to have to add a little bit more to it. So it just doesn't look like it's got enough in there for my taste anyway. You don't have to add any more, you can add less. It's really up to you. And I have about 1.5 teaspoons of basil. I use very high quality dried herbs, so you don't really need much of it. And you really don't want the basil to overtake the thyme. You really don't. And we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt to this, because remember, our butter was not salted, so that's about, I guess it's about 1 teaspoon. But again, the recipe will be in the first comment. You see that's starting to bubble a little bit, and it's starting to thicken up, which is great. Exactly what we want it to do. Might have to add a little bit more clam juice in this. Now, if you're making this gluten-free, you're going to skip that step, but you're still going to put your herbs in. And I'll write that out, because I know my daughter is gluten-free, so she has celiac disease. So all you people out there with celiac disease, I really feel bad for you, but you know what, it's an easy enough cook to adapt it to that. And I do need a little bit more, I think, of clam juice. Because as it boils, it's a slow boil, but as it boils, it's going to thicken up. And then we're going to add a lot of parsley. We're going to add a ton of parsley to this, so that's going to thicken it up as well. So we'll just add a little bit more of that. Okay, that's good. And we're also going to add a little bit of our pasta water to this right before we put our pasta in, because that's going to help the sauce bind to the pasta. Okay, so we're just going to give that a nice stir around. And that looks like a really good consistency. It's a little on the thick side, which is what I want at this point in the game. So, and it looks like this is boiling. So we're going to add our fresh pasta in. I don't know where my thing is. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're just going to add that in. And like I said, this is only 8 ounces. You can double this recipe. You can half this recipe if you want. It's really very easy. It's very, very simple. I'll just put that over there. We'll let this boil, because this is going to be done real quick. About 4 minutes, and that is it. If that. Okay, this is great consistency. So now I'm going to add my chopped clams. I used 4 cans of chopped clams, and I used 2 cans of whole baby clams. And the reason I did that is because we really like it clammy. Okay. So, mix this all around. Now the clams are already cooked, so really what you're doing with them is you're just heating them. So, and that makes this dish really, really quick. And that looks perfect. See how nice that is? That looks fantastic. It smells even better. I wish you could smell it. Yep. They'll event that one day, eventually, I'm sure. So, now we've got our pasta almost coming to a boil here. It really, again, does not take long. I don't know where my tester is. He's not in the kitchen, which is very odd. But we are having a storm, so he may have put himself in the closet. Poor little guy. Gotta love him. This looks real good. And now we're gonna taste it. So I'm gonna grab myself a spoon. My spoon, and we're just going to taste it. Oh, it's good. Here's where you can make any adjustments. My adjustment is going to be putting a little bit more thyme in it, because, like I said, I really like thyme. So we stir this up. Oh yeah, it looks good. Looks real good. Now I can't use this spoon again, because what'll happen is if you use the same spoon to keep tasting it, it's actually going to break the sauce. There's something in saliva that breaks the sauce, so you never want to use the same spoon. So sometimes I have, 5, 6, 8 spoons in the sink from tasting. Put a little bit more of this in there. That's the thyme. Does not need any more basil. And this is almost done here, I see. So we're gonna mix this up a little bit. And my taster is not here, so I've got to see if it's done. That's hot. Okay. All right. Let's see. About a minute more on that. So I'm going to take some of this water from the pasta, here and stir it up. And you see, this is why I wanted it a little bit on the thicker side, because we were using that pasta water. Okay, that looks great. It looks really good. Okay, now I'm going to take about, a cup to a cup and a half, sometimes 2 cups. It really doesn't matter. It just depends on how much you like parsley. But that's really what gives it the beautiful color, flavor, texture, because this, as you can see, is also thickening up the sauce a little bit. That is perfect. And make sure we get all of that incorporated. Now I still have my gas on, I still have my heat on. Again, you can use electric stove or a gas stove, doesn't matter. And that looks really good. Oh, dinner's almost done. You can see that coming. Okay. And I'm telling you, once you have this, you will not order it out anymore, because nobody's compared. And also, if you want to add some fresh clams, you can do that as well. Just make sure you wash them really, really well to get all the grit off of them. And just throw them in, cover it. They will open up beautifully, and that makes a real nice presentation. But I don't need to do that because it's just 2 of us tonight. I don't need to have anything fancy going on here. This is done. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this right out of the pot, just like that. And you see, we're still going to get some water in there, and that's fine, because we've thickened up our sauce enough. Okay, so we're going to take all of this out. Let's lower our heat a little bit, because we don't really need to cook it. It's already cooked. And we're going to stir this around. I know, don't freak out. I'm using metal utensils in this non-stick, but I can in this pan, this particular pan, so. Okay. And that's good. Perfect. All right. Let's just mix this up a little bit. See this coming together real nice. You don't have to be too gentle with it because we didn't overcook our pasta. We do need a little bit more water in here. So I add some from the pasta we just made. Oh, that's good. That is really good. And I'm not going to incorporate this fully because we want to have some sauce on the side. So I'm just going to incorporate it a little bit. Man, let's get a plate. I don't think I have one out. No, I do not. So we're going to get a plate. We're going to shut this gas off. We no longer need it on. And close the cabinet. I don't like when the cabinets aren't closed. And we're going to take a little bit of that pasta. And we're just going to swirl it around, just like that. Okay. And then we're going to take some of the sauce that we have on the side, just put it right on top. And there you have it. We're done. I mean, it was just that easy, just that simple. Now, since my taste tester is not here, I guess I have to do this. I think he's still hiding in the closet because of the thunder that we have going on. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, twirl it around. My gosh, it's long. You never want to break pasta. Don't ever break pasta when you put it in a pan because it does something to the fibers. So it's just definitely not a good thing. Dinner's done. Literally done. It's fantastic. So I'm gonna go eat it now and write out the recipe so all you guys can make it at home really quick. Bye.